Welcome to the Soulful Success by Design podcast. I'm Kendra Woods, your host, and a former corporate healthcare executive turned entrepreneur. After battling burnout, I discovered the magic of human design. As a 6'2" splenic projector, I am here to lead you on a journey of self-discovery, self-mastery, and unstoppable growth. So join me as we dive into the world of human design, mindset, energetics, and aligned success. We will talk about the highs and the lows of creating soulful and meaningful success in your life and business on your terms. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Soulful Success by Design podcast. I am your host, Kendra Woods, and today we're going to explore where you are leading from. Are you leading from your higher self, or are you leading from your not self in your business and life? So I'm going to introduce you to my understanding of your higher self and then share with you what the not self is in the human design world. In human design, you'll hear us use that term often, your not self. Each type in human design has a not self theme that shows up. All of the centers also have a not self theme that shows up, the gates, the channels, your profile lines, etc. So we're going to dive deep into what that is. And I'm going to share in this particular episode, the not self theme for each type, the not self theme for each center, and how you can begin to make a conscious effort to move from your higher self. If you are wanting to, if you have a vision in your mind, a dream, something that you are working towards that you want to create in your life, we've got to be operating and moving from our higher self. And we have to be very clear in being able to recognize when our not self is the one leading so that we can make the changes necessary and move from that true space within us. Okay. So the impact of understanding the not self and your higher self, in my opinion, is huge. So I'm going to share with you really quickly here just 10 ways that this knowledge can affect you and will affect you. And so my hope is that one of these points resonates with you and inspires a deeper awareness of how you can show up in your business and life each day. So when you understand the not self and the higher self, and you know how to navigate them, and you know how to pull yourself back into the higher self when you notice your not self showing up, here's what happens. Number one, enhanced self-awareness. That's what this human design system is all about. So by understanding your higher self and your not self, as an entrepreneur, you gain deeper insights into your authentic strengths and your conditioned behaviors. Number two, improved decision-making. As a woman, as a business owner, you need to be able to make decisions that are right for you, that are aligned for you. And so knowing the difference between your higher self and your not self behaviors can help you make more intuitive and confident decisions. Okay, because decisions made from your higher self, they're more strategic and they're less influenced by external pressures. The third way this helps you is it also increases your resilience. So when you are able to consistently operate from your higher self, it reduces the impact of fear and insecurity. Now, we all feel fear at some point. We all have insecurities that pop up, but how are you able to move through them? Are you efficient in moving through them, or do you stay stuck kind of looping in those fears and in those insecurities? Your leadership is enhanced. Right? So what that means is when you're operating from your higher self, you're cultivating more qualities of an effective leader, such as integrity, wisdom, empathy. And when you do that, you're able to inspire others, people on your team or people in your community or people in your life, period. The fifth is better client relationships. If you are a business owner and you're working with clients, or you plan to be working with clients in the future, you really want to make sure that you have clean, good quality relationships with your clients, and you're working with them from your higher self and not from your conditioned space. Aligned marketing and branding. Okay, so again, authentic branding attracts clients who resonate with your message. But if you're operating from your not self, then people aren't really being able to see who you truly are and what you're about. It also supports you with work-life harmony, meaning you'll notice when you're overworking, when you're pushing too hard, when you're people-pleasing, when you're not setting boundaries. It also increases your creativity and your innovation, your emotional fulfillment, is better because you're experiencing greater joy and satisfaction in your work, in your life. Your community, your ability to build community and to network increases when you're operating from your higher self. Because here's the thing, we all need support. We cannot do this thing called life and business alone. Success does not happen in isolation, right? It happens when you are connecting with other people, when you're building those relationships with like-minded individuals that you can then use as a resource to help motivate yourself. So understanding and integrating these aspects can significantly support you in being your most aligned self, your most magnetic self, the part of you that makes decisions from a place of integrity, from a place of authenticity, from a place of power, right? And that's what we want. So we're going to step into this next space here where I want to talk to you about your higher self. What is your higher self? And you may already have your own definition of this. I'm going to share with you, for me, what that looks like and how your higher self shows up in your business. Okay. So the higher self is your true, authentic expression of who we are. It's the part of you that is aligned with your highest potential and your core values. And so when you're connected to your higher self, you operate from a place of inner truth and authenticity. That is the whole goal with understanding your human design, with aligning to your design, with doing your deconditioning work, is to support you in being able to connect more deeply with your higher self, with that part of you that knows you're powerful, the part of you that allows you to step in a room and be confident, the part of you that feels confident in using your voice and showing up online, showing up in different spaces, or showing up at the board table at your job, right? The part of you that knows that you are good enough and that your work is amazing and that you are great at what you do. That's the part that we want to be operating from, and the part that human design really supports you in stepping into, so that you can create more ease, more flow, and less resistance in your life. So when you're operating from your higher self, you're going to be making decisions from a place of clarity and inner truth. You're going to be leading with confidence, purpose, and integrity. You're going to be able to make decisions again when you're faced with a business decision, and instead of overthinking or doubting yourself, you instead trust your gut feeling. So when you have that gut feeling, you have that knowing, that is your higher self guiding you. And the place where we get messed up is we allow our head to get into the way. Because once our head gets in there and starts, spouting off all these, what ifs and narratives and limiting beliefs, it overpowers the higher self within you that is giving you those gentle nudges, that's giving you that little whisper. You can't hear it when you're not self, your mind is just talking over everything. Yeah. All right. So we talked about branding already. The other thing I want to talk about here real quick is also collaborations. I don't believe in competition. I was talking to someone from a local TV station last week. And they reached out to me because they wanted to talk to me about doing maybe some commercials, or doing like a 30-second spot, like for advertising, right? And so I'm talking with a gentleman, and he's asking me questions about my business and exactly what I do, when did I get started, who do I work with, things like that. And then he says to me, well, who's your competition? And I stopped him right there, because for me, I don't believe in competition. I'm not here to compete with you. I'm here to give my contribution that I am meant to give. I'm here to collaborate with other amazing like-minded women who also have a mission, and work with them and maybe bring our work together to create something even more, right? So I believe in collaboration. And so when I told him that, he said, oh, wow. He's like, I really like that. And I just feel, for me, that is my authentic truth, right? That is my higher self stepping up and saying, I'm not here to compete. And I also have an undefined will center, right? So I'm not here to try to compete and prove myself over another, right? I'm here to be in my lane, to operate in my highest potential and do my work that I'm called to do, and recognize other women in the industry who are doing the same. And if, collaborating with them and working with them will help to rise us both up, then amazing. Let's do that. Yeah. And so that's what operating from your higher self allows you to do. So When you are going about your day to day, or your day-to-day business decisions or life decisions, I want you to ask yourself, am I making decisions right now from my higher self? Am I leading with authenticity and integrity? So reflecting on these questions can really help you to stay connected to your true self and create a business and life that reflects who you are. Because I don't know about you, but I started my business because I wanted to operate on my terms. I wanted to live life on my terms. And for me, that meant having a business where I was able to control all the things. And maybe for some of you, that's not it, right? Maybe for some of you, living life on your terms is, working in a corporate job that you love, that has a mission and a vision that you can get behind. Either way, you want to be making sure that you're operating from your core values and not showing up in either space, your business, your life, your career, from a place of fear, insecurity. Well, oh, I should do this, from a place of feeling guilty, from a place of shame. Okay. So, what is the not self in human design? So, let's talk about the not self for a moment. So, the not self is crucial in recognizing when you are operating out of alignment, when you are not in alignment with how you're designed to be. So, the not self is the conditioned, fear-based part of you. It's the aspect of your being that's been shaped by external influences, societal expectations, past experiences. Maybe there's family pressures. It's a part of you that feels like, oh, I need to be this way in order to be accepted. But the thing is, when we're operating from the not self, we're living out of alignment with our true design and our authentic self. Now, as human beings, we have this deep need to be able to be connected and to belong. And that is just a tribal, primal, I should say, a primal part of our being as humans is we don't want to be canceled, right? We don't want to be not included. We don't want to be what's the word I'm looking for? Like not accepted. So if there's any part of you that feels like you won't be accepted, this is where the not self comes in and says, oh, well, you need to do this. And if you do this, then you'll be accepted. And we learn this early in life, and then we carry it through into our adulthood. We carry it through into our businesses, into our relationships, until we recognize that that does not work anymore. And we need to shift gears. So we all have this. So the not self in your business will have you making decisions, again, from fear, insecurity, external pressures, right? If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling unfulfilled in your business, then that can lead you. Your not self is what's operating, because your not self kind of puts you in a constant state of feeling stuck or overwhelmed. You feel like you've plateaued. You feel like, things aren't working the way they used to. You feel like your creativity has diminished. You feel like you don't know the answers to your next step anymore. You just feel stuck. Okay. So let's look at some specific examples around the not self here real quick. So let's imagine, I want you to imagine that you've been offered a business opportunity that doesn't feel right to you, but you accept it anyway because you fear financial insecurity or you fear disappointing others. No matter what your type is in human design, you are going to feel your not self theme. If you're a generator, you're going to feel frustrated. If you're a projector, you're going to feel bitterness. You might feel this resentment show up. Okay. And this is telling you that you are misaligned. And so this is where you get to check yourself and say, wait a minute, am I saying yes to this business decision out of, am I afraid that if I don't take this, then no other money will come my way? Or am I afraid if I don't take this, then the person that's offering it to me is not going to like me, or they're going to think that I'm, better than them, or whatever the stories are that are playing out in your mind. When you're operating in your not self, another example is, perhaps you are seeking validation from others. You're overworking yourself to prove your worth, and that will drain your energy and diminish your creativity. And I know, if I'm being honest, I've had moments where I have done this, right? Early in my business, I was looking out into the world for the world to tell me that my content was good, that my videos were good, that my programs were good. Like I was like, I need to hear it so that I know that it's good. But that is not where we want to be coming from. We have to know that we are good innately, that what we produce is amazing innately, right? We have to know that we are enough innately and learn to validate ourselves. Your higher self will validate you. Your higher self will tell you, you know what, you're amazing at this. And then it is your job to lean into that. And if it's hard for you to lean into that, then we get to question it. You get to question, like, why is it hard for me to lean into the fact that I am good enough, that I'm great at what I do, and that I can feel confident and secure in how I show up? Okay. Another way the not self may show up is you might follow industry trends that don't resonate with you simply because you feel pressure to conform. And again, this results in a lack of authenticity in your branding and in your messaging. So I remember when Reels were like a big thing, when they first came out, Instagram first rolled out Reels, everyone was like dancing on their Reels and doing all this, like, funny and crazy things. And I just could not get with it. I was like, I'm not getting on video and dancing, not doing that. It didn't feel right for me. It didn't feel aligned for me. But at the same time, I wasn't sure how to show up on a reel, right? But I honored myself and I said, the way that I'm meant to show up in my reels it will, show itself to me. It will show up. I will be able to recognize it. And I allowed myself to be patient. I think I made one reel where I was kind of like, doing some dancing or whatnot, but in that felt authentic for me. My spleen, my authority was like, yes, here's the music, do this. That felt good. So if you find yourself just moving along with all these different trends because you see that's what's happening in the world, you got to stop again and check yourself and ask yourself, why am I doing this? Am I doing this because I see that everyone else is doing it, but do I really want to be doing this? Okay. So recognizing when you're operating from the not self is your first step towards shifting back into alignment with your higher self. Yeah. So by becoming aware of these patterns, you can start making more authentic, confident decisions that truly reflect who you are and what you stand for and what you want the world to know about you. So as you are navigating your life journey, entrepreneurial journey, pay attention when you might be operating from your not self. Ask yourself the question. Once again, here's the questions. Am I making this decision out of fear or insecurity? Is this choice aligned with my true design? Is it aligned for me? These reflections can really help you stay true to yourself to create a life and a business that not only thrives, but just blossoms and fulfills you. Because that's what we're seeking, right? Is that fulfillment. We don't move into careers or start our businesses because we just want to, right? Like we do it because we want to feel fulfilled. We're hoping that we're going to make a decision where we feel good about it and we feel fulfilled. Okay. So now let's move into what the not self themes are for each human design type. I mentioned some already, but understanding these themes based on your type will help you recognize when you're out of alignment, okay, when you're operating from a fear-based part of yourself and operating out of conditioning. So we're going to start with our manifestors first. So manifestors, your not self theme is anger. You are designed as a manifestor to initiate and bring new ideas into the world. However, when you're out of alignment, you're going to experience anger. Okay, so this often happens when your ability to initiate is blocked or when you feel controlled by others. So here's an example for you manifestors. Imagine you have a brilliant idea for a new project, but every step you take, you're met with resistance or you're met with control from others, or folks are like, well, what are you doing and why are you doing this? So this frustration can quickly turn into anger, causing you to either lash out in anger or shut down. So when you notice that happening, you've got to ask yourself, okay, wait, what do I need to do to move myself back into alignment? I need to inform people. I need to let folks know, here's what's happening. Here's how it's going to be so I can go about my way. All right. Generators, your not self theme is frustration. So you have this natural energy generators to build and to create, but you need to be engaged in activities that truly satisfy you. So when you're out of alignment, you're going to experience frustration. There's also two parts to this generators because a part of your creative process is also frustration. And so You've really got to be clear with yourself. Am I feeling this frustration because I'm out of alignment right now and I need to move and pivot directions? Or am I out of alignment because I am just at a plateau and I'm gathering and tapping into a deeper level of mastery before I propel to my next level? So here's an example for you, just looking at it from the not self-theme aspect. You might find yourself taking on too many tasks that don't bring you joy, they don't bring you satisfaction, and this leads to a sense of frustration and burnout. Generators, you can burn out. You've got that defined sacral, but it doesn't mean that you just have endless energy to just do, and do. And so this happens when you say yes to obligations that don't align with your true desires. So where are you saying yes to things where you should be saying no, where your sacral is going, no, right? Pay attention to that. It's in the body. Now, manifesting generators, because you're a hybrid of both the manifestor and the generator, you're going to experience both the frustration and the anger. You're a blend, right? So you're highly energetic, you're multi-talented, but you need to follow your gut responses. You need to follow what feels right for you. So an example for manifesting generators is you may be juggling multiple projects, but you're not finishing any of them. You're not finishing any of them. And I want to stop here for a moment because you don't necessarily need to finish all the projects you have your hand in, but it's important for you to finish those that light you up and bring you satisfaction. So because you have so much energy and it's fast moving, you need to have your hands in different places so that you can externalize that energy and create and create and create. And not all things that you put your hands into are going to come to the finish line, but the ones that you are most aligned with, that really give you the deepest satisfaction, those you want to move to the finish line. And when you're not able to do this, then this leads to your frustration. Additionally, if you feel restricted or unable to pivot as quickly between tasks as you like, this can turn into anger and a sense of feeling trapped. I see this in the business world all the time, where we hear that you need to niche down, you need to niche down, you need to niche down. And as a manifesting generator, if you're taking that advice and you're trying to only focus in on like one thing, I guarantee you're feeling frustrated and you're feeling angry because you are trying to put your energy in a box. Okay. So projectors, you're not self-theme as bitterness. You are natural guides and you're the directors of others' energy. You are here to direct the energy of others. But when you're not recognized, when you're not invited to share your insights, you can become bitter. So I want you to imagine, my projectors, that you have valuable advice for a project, but your input is consistently, it's ignored, it's undervalued, people aren't really listening. This lack of recognition can lead to feelings of bitterness and resentment, making it really difficult for you to stay motivated. So for you, when you're recognizing this, you need to know, I'm in the wrong place. These people do not honor and value what I have to say. So let me go find a community, a space, the people who do recognize me. Yeah. Reflectors. Now, for reflectors, you're not self-theme as disappointment. Reflectors, you are beautiful, beautiful mirrors of your environment. You reflect the health and the well-being of the communities that you're a part of. And when you are out of alignment, you will experience disappointment. And so an example for you of what this looks like is you may feel let down by the outcomes of projects or the behavior of people in your life or other team members, sensing that things aren't turning out as you had hoped. And so this can lead to like that pervasive sense of disappointment and disillusionment. I had a client that I was working with a couple of years ago. He was a reflector. He's the first reflector I worked with. And he was not in a good place. He was feeling so disappointed, with his work and with his team and how things were moving, and that they weren't moving, his projects weren't moving the way that he wanted to. And it was because he had the wrong people on his team. He had the wrong butts in the seats, right? He had the wrong people around him supporting him. The moment we'd made changes to his team and who was where and who needed to be where, the moment that he did that, his creativity began to skyrocket, right? His business began to take off again. He wrote a book, I think like 2 books at this point, because he got the right people around him. So reflectors, so important for you. So I hope that just this little segment piece here of us talking about the not self themes for each center, I hope you're understanding how crucial understanding your not self theme is for staying in alignment with your true design. So when you notice these feelings arising, that's your signal to pause and take a step back and reflect on whether you're honoring your unique human design type. And when you do this, then you can make adjustments that bring you back into alignment, allowing you to operate from your higher self so that you can thrive in your business, so that you can thrive in your personal life. Okay. This is where really taking on personal responsibility is crucial. Nobody else can do this work for you. Nobody else can bring awareness to you unless you're open to receiving that. You have to be the one that's willing to say, you know what, I'm going to pay attention to how I'm feeling throughout my day. I'm going to notice when I'm operating in my not self, and I'm going to do the work necessary to make the adjustments that I need to make. When you do that, that's where you begin to see the growth and the growth and the expansion and the expansion, all right, and things moving forward. So let's talk about now, I want to talk about the not self themes for the centers. Each center has a unique influence on how we think, feel, and behave, especially when you're out of alignment, right? So the head center, you're going to feel the pressure to have all the answers in your not self. So overthinking and feeling mentally exhausted, trying to solve everyone's issues that come your way, this can lead to burnout and a sense of overwhelm. Okay. So when you notice you're overthinking, you're mentally just like in your head, that is your head center and it's not self. What do you need to release? The next center is your Ajna center. The not self here is when you're searching for certainty. So you're sticking rigidly to your opinions, you're being closed off to new ideas. And when you are doing this, you're stifling your creativity and your ability to be innovative. So how can you tap into this and recognize when you are trying to force yourself to be certain about something? If you have an undefined ajna, stop trying to be certain about anything because you're so fluid in that space. When you're defined, you're going to have that innate certainty that's there, but again, still being open to others, to ideas. The throat center, this area here, when it's operating and it's not self, you're going to feel this pressure to communicate. So feeling like you need to say something when it's just quiet. That feels uncomfortable to you when you're operating and you're not self. So speaking out of turn or feeling unheard, which leads you to overcompensate by either talking more, trying really hard to be heard and noticed, or you're not saying anything at all. So recognizing the duality there. Your G center, the not self of the G center is searching for a sense of direction. So trying to fit in with other people's expectations, trying to be accepted, right? Because this is also the center for its direction, identity, love, purpose. So trying to fit in with others' expectations, losing sight of your own path. And this can lead you to feeling like a lack of fulfillment and direction in your life and business. Notice that. Reflect on that. The heart center, the not self here looks like you willing your way towards approval, trying to prove yourself, taking on too many projects to gain approval. And this can lead to stress and a sense of inadequacy if your efforts aren't recognized. So it's about not trying to prove yourself and just being who you are. The sacral center, the not self here is searching for ways to, the not self here is like not knowing when enough is enough and looking for ways to like trying to keep up. So you're constantly saying yes to everything, even tasks that don't excite you, leading you to burnout and a lack of enthusiasm. Your solar plexus, not self, is emotional avoidance. You are not speaking your truth. You're avoiding conflict at all costs or being like overly reactive. And this can lead to some really like unresolved issues and strained relationships in your life and business. The spleen center, the not self here is where you are searching for a sense of safety and survival. So you're clinging to things that are familiar. You're avoiding risks. You're constantly searching for that sense of safety. And this can hold you back from taking bold steps. This can hold you back from letting go of the things that you need to let go of so that you can move forward. Your root center. So the not self here, the root center is all about like stress and pressure. And so the not self here is just doing, right? Always feeling overwhelmed by deadlines, rushing through tasks. That leads to more stress. So being clear on why am I doing what I'm doing? Am I doing this because I feel pressure that I need to meet this deadline? I need to push myself and I'm overdoing it and feeling overwhelmed by it? Am I taking on someone else's stress, someone else's sense of urgency, and allowing that to put pressure on my system? Those are questions you can ask yourself. So one of the things I like to say sometimes is like, your urgency is not my urgency. And I live by that. And it's not that I don't care about like what other folks have going on, but I know if I allow other people's urgency to become my urgency, then as a projector, I'm going to feel really bitter and resentful, and I am going to be misaligned, and I won't be able to show up as my best self. So think about that for you. So here are some things that I want to share with you as far as like shifting out of this. Number one, I would say pay attention to your theme: frustration, anger, bitterness, disappointment, anger and frustration. Pay attention to when you're feeling these things. If they're coming up frequently, like these are signals that you might be operating in your not self, and you can shift out of that. Notice patterns where you feel stuck, where you feel overwhelmed or unfulfilled. These patterns, they can indicate to you areas where you're not aligned with your true design. I know when it's time for me to move on from something, I know it's time for me to move on because I get that feeling of just like, nah, I feel stagnant, right? Any feeling of stagnancy that I feel within me, I know that is my higher self saying to me, okay, Kendra, it is time to move on. But if I choose to stay in that because I'm afraid of something or I'm afraid of letting go, operating in the not self. So a couple of strategies for you. Self-awareness practices are going to be huge. So journaling or meditating can help you tune into your inner self. I'd love to free write in my journal, just turn some music on, set a timer, and just like let whatever wants to come out onto the page. Meditating is such a beautiful practice to help you tap into your higher self, the wisdom that's within you. Meditation will help you do that. Ideas, which I get the best ideas and downloads and inspiration and motivation when I allow myself to just get out of the energy of other people and just meditate. Okay. I want to encourage you also to align your business decisions with your human design strategy and authority. So use your strategy and authority as a guide for making decisions, whether it's waiting to respond, whether it's informing others or following your gut feeling, or following your intuition, talking it out, whatever that is. Align your decisions with your designs can really help you stay true to your higher self. Practice it. Start small, start with some small things, but then consistently practice operating from your authority. Authority in my world, it's body-based. Your authority is body-based. It's not mind-based, it's body-based. And then also seeking support from mentors, from coaches, because sometimes an outside perspective can be incredibly valuable. Mentors and coaches who understand human design can help you see where you might be out of alignment and provide guidance to help you get back on track. I am a huge fan of having a coach or a mentor in my life. There's not a year that goes by that I don't have a coach or a mentor that I work with. Every single year, I'm either working with the same mentor or maybe I'm feeling that I want to move to another mentor or coach, but I have one in my life at all times because I know that as great as I am at what I do, right, with my clients and how I can like, self-coach myself, I still have my own blind spots. I still have my own, ways of doing things that maybe I'm not noticing it because I'm too close to it. And my mentor and coach can point that out to me. So if you're really wanting to step more into alignment, this is the episode that I would say go back and listen to it again and listen to it again and listen to it again and write down the not self themes of the centers of the types. Listen to some of the examples that I've given you and really begin to do a personal inquiry on yourself on where this may be showing up in your life and in your business so that you can refresh and reset some things. And this is a journey. Human design is not some magic coin, magic pill. There's work involved in leaning into your alignment and stepping into your highest potential. So every step you take towards understanding and embodying your true self, it's a step towards you being more authentic and empowered in the way that you show up. It really supports who you are being in the world. So if you've never had a human design reading, I'm going to take this time now to encourage you to get a human design reading. It will really help to shed some light on your own design and how you can begin like some specific things that's specific and unique to you that you can begin to do to help yourself move into alignment, get out of your head, become unstuck and unstoppable, as I love to say, and start making the moves that matter. Okay. So we are going to wrap this up. We went really deep into several different areas. We went into the not self theme, all of the 5 human design types. We examined the 9 centers and their not self themes. And we focused on some strategies to help you recognize how to shift from your not self to your higher self. So I hope today's episode has given you valuable insights into how you can better understand and navigate the dynamics between your higher self and your not self so that you are operating from your high self. So that your higher self is the one that's driving the car, that's navigating, so that you can take your life and business to places that you could never imagine. So remember that alignment is an ongoing journey. It's an everyday moment to moment thing. And every step you take towards embracing your true design brings you closer to that vision, that dream, that goal that you have in your mind's eye. All right. So really quickly before we get off of here and I bid you farewell, please know that you can download my Alignment by Design guidebook. It is my free gift to you. In this guidebook, I have detailed information on your purpose by human design type. I help you understand your internal power by type. And I provide you soul-aligned journal prompts to support you in your alignment. I will leave those links for you in the show notes so that you can click that link and download your free guide. And also, I have openings for my soul-aligned private coaching and mentor experiences. And I'm really thrilled that here within the next month or so, I'm going to be adding in some additional tools, NLP, hypnosis, EFT, timeline therapy work. I'll be finished with my certification in the next month or so. And so I'll be adding those into my suite of how I'll support my clients. So if you're ready to release unhealthy patterns and behaviors that no longer serve your higher purpose, this is for you. If you're ready to break free from procrastination and embrace aligned action, this space is for you. And if you're ready to embrace your worth and know deeply that you are enough and that you possess all the wisdom that you need, then I want to invite you to apply for coaching with me at my website. You can go to kendrakwoods.com/coaching. I will have the link for you in the show notes as well, and you can fill out the application there. So thank you for tuning in. Please feel free. I invite you to connect with me over at Soulful Success by Design over on Instagram. Please follow the show and leave us a review. It helps to get this show out there to more people. It is much appreciated. So thanks again for joining me today. And remember, go out there and create success from your soul on your terms. Until next time.